All right, so let's do our shot. If we look back to our diagram, we can see how I have, besides each stage, some information that is useful for us to follow. First, we can see that in each stage of blogging, I have two other tiny little stages, one for posing and another one for timing. We will repeat basically this pattern every time in each stage, every time we do a different kind of post. Actually, what I'm hoping for is that you guys develop the habit of testing your timing every time you do a posting. That's eventually the best way to do like a very good workflow. We post, we time. We post, we time. Or another way to say it, every time we post something, we check the timing. On the side, more to the right of this, I've created some notes what are of the most important techniques or tips that we should work on each stage. These can be either one of the 12 principles or some other rules that we talked through this course. So before we discuss and I talk to you through some part of the process as I've been doing my first pass of blocking for the golden poses, I'd like to show you first how does it look.
So, how to do impressions. I think the first thing to know is that it doesn't just start automatically. You can't just leap in there and do De Niro or walk in. So let's say I wanted to do an impression of Colin Firth. How do I begin? Well, the first thing I do is take Colin inside of me and sort of ease him in. And then once he's in there, and you begin to you're not even using your vocal cords. You'll notice that. We're not even going to get to that yet. But what you do is you just think of things that Colin Firth would, well, how would he look around the room? I'll do it for you now. This is Colin. See what I mean?
All right, so now that we have that, I'd like to go with you through my 3D scene and talk to you about some few things that I've been going through that I think could be interesting for you to also know, so you can take in consideration through the process of posing, not just in the shot, but in your future or your shots that you're going to be doing on the side. Okay, so this is my very first pose for the so, right? It's a pose that feels good. It's a pose that I'm satisfied with. That's probably my first and my biggest tip for you when you're working on posing, which is always aim for creative satisfaction and to feel good when you are doing a shot, a pose. I never, ever, at least when I'm doing golden poses, I never leave a pose unworked or unsatisfied, unworked in something else. I mean, only if I'm very tired and I've been doing like in an app, maybe that I've been working on one post in one day, I took the break for the rest of the day, and I go to my place and I rest and I sleep and I do something else, and then the next day is a different day and things changes a lot. But usually, at least with golden poses and with key poses, I always look for that, for the good feeling, for feeling good in my body, right? That's the sense of beauty that I was mentioning before, the good emotion that comes out when working something that has appeal, right? So this is a pose that I was looking for that sense of, okay, of like self-importance. Let me think about how can I do to tell you my secrets, right? So that process of going in deep into each pose, what is happening inside each pose, that is something that we should have done before in the stage of thumbnailing or adding depth to our poses. But it's good to bring that feeling back as we do the process of posing in the 3D scene. So this is basically what I was looking for, and I got very happy with it. As you can see here, I have like a lot of keys. Tick, tick, tick. Lockout keys. This is for me to explain you how a little bit how is the evolution of my posing process going. So as I was starting to do my pose here, I realized that I have this part of the chair here. Unfortunately, when I was taking my video references, and in my house I don't even have a chair with me that has those I think it's called armchairs, no? So I didn't have that opportunity to get a video reference that is closer to my object in my scene, which is bad. I always try to get as close as I can to what I actually have in my 3D scene, but it didn't happen. That's why I ended up doing this kind of pose more with the crossed arms. So the moment I started posing, I realized, oh, I have these armchairs, so I should take advantage of that. And very early in the very first steps that I was doing, I already did this pose, which I really, really like. So I start planning everything more with this kind of feeling, because I think it actually helps a lot to get that kind of, putting myself on top of the audience that is enjoying my lectures. All right, so yeah, it gives like a superiority kind of feeling that I'm enjoying doing it. So you have to stay open to always, at least in this part of the process, still you have to stay, or you can stay open to the flow or ideas, and never being afraid to try it. So every time that happens, what I basically do, I select everything, all my keys are selected, boom, key all, and key all is actually the base for all the 5 stages that we're going to be doing. The 5 stages that we have to do for blocking, always key all, right? So when something like that happens, like a new idea arises, I make sure that I select everything, key all, I go to the next frame, and I try it. And if I like it, I continue with this. If I don't like it, I delete this and I go back to my previous frame. So this is like a kind of like an internal way to have like backups, like for not losing whatever you've done before. So all these keys that you see in here are internal backups or tests that I've been doing as I was working in this pose. So as you can see, I've done like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, let's say attempts, or 9 ideas came up as I was working on this pose. This is probably a pose that took me quite a lot. I think almost 2 hours to do this pose. So lots of things came as I was doing. This is part of the benefit also of giving myself the time to only work on golden poses, right? So I can spend a lot of time, be creative only in one pose. And I don't think about nothing else but just this pose. I put myself on the situation of, okay, I know what are the feeling, what is this kind of thing that I'm working on, and I stay there, and I stay in that feeling all the time, and I try to push it, to feel it, and try to make it look good and work with the appeal, right? So yeah, key everything, next frame every time you want to try something new, and try it and see how it happens. But if you get an idea that is about a different stage, like for example, I'm just getting an idea about a breakdown, or I'm getting an idea about a different pose that is in this bit, okay, you write it down. Right now we're not working in the different poses that are still in this bit. You write that down, you get that note happening. You will have the opportunity to work on that later, right? So you only work on poses or on ideas that are just for golden poses, okay?